Imagine waking up at 45 with your chest tight, honking in traffic, snapping at your family, convinced the world is stealing your peace. But what if the real prison was your own grip on life? 3 months before a total breakdown, Ethan Hayes uncovered the secret that changed everything. A simple ceramic mug revealed why he could never find calm. This story shows that letting go of control isn't weakness. It's the path to the freedom you deserve after 40. Ethan drove his Ford F-150 pickup truck down Route 23 every morning, the radio blasting productivity podcasts. Time is money, he repeated to himself, echoing the LinkedIn gurus he followed obsessively. At 45, he had the steady job at the auto parts factory, the mortgage nearly paid off, and 2 teenagers who barely looked up from their plates at dinner. Sarah, his 43-year-old wife, watched it all with tired eyes. They'd married young, right after high school at Maple Creek High, dreaming of the White House with a picket fence and Sunday barbecues. But the dream had turned into a crushing routine. Ethan came home exhausted, not from the physical labor, but from the pent-up anger. "Traffic is hell," he'd complain, slamming his keys on the kitchen table. "These slow drivers, the lines at Walmart, everyone's wasting my time." That rainy Monday in October started like any other. Ethan hunted for his truck keys, under the couch, on the kitchen counter, in the cluttered garage scattered with tools. Nothing. "Who moved my keys? This house is total chaos," he yelled, his voice echoing through the living room, decorated with faded family photos. Sarah appeared from the laundry room, drying her hands on her apron. "Ethan, they're probably by the door. You always leave them there." He didn't listen. He stormed out, slamming the door, found the keys on the entry mat, and sped off down the wet street. At the roundabout, an old guy in a rusty pickup blocked the way. Ethan honked loud. "Speed up, man. I've got work." The guy waved calmly through the window. "Take it easy, buddy. The road's long. You'll get there." Ethan shook his head, muttering about lazy folks who don't care about time, and floored it when he could. At work, the irritation just built. A Zoom meeting with the sales team ran 10 minutes late because of a guy from Columbus struggling with his connection. "Speak up, man. We're burning time here," he typed in the chat, his face red on camera. His colleagues exchanged glances. Everyone knew his short fuse. He was proud of it. It was a sign of ambition, of someone who makes things happen. But that night, alone in the garage, under the dim LED light, fixing a broken chair, something tightened in his chest. It wasn't his heart, it was worse. A deep fatigue, like he was carrying the world on his back. "Why do I feel exhausted all the time?" he whispered to the tools. At 45, he expected to feel on top of his game, not crushed. Sarah came in with a beer. "You look like you're carrying the world, honey. Why let these little things eat you up?" He shrugged. "Because time is precious. People need to learn to move faster. That's America, hustle or bust." The days that followed were the same. Friday night at the packed Walmart for the weekend rush, an older lady with a full cart took forever at checkout. Ethan drummed his fingers, sighing loud enough for her to turn. "Sorry, dear. These coupons," he replied curtly. "It's fine, but let's go." At home, the kids, Jake 16 and Lily 14, barely talked. Jake was glued to his phone playing Fortnite. Lily scrolled TikTok. "Hey guys, how was your day?" Ethan tried. Silence. Sarah sighed at the sink. "They feel you always rushing, Ethan. Sit down a bit." He laughed bitterly. "Sit? I sit at work all day. I need to produce." On Sunday, during the family pancake breakfast tradition, church traffic delayed the pastor, and Ethan checked his watch every minute. "Why does everything take so long in this town?" Later, at the neighborhood barbecue, Mrs. Jenkins, the retired 60-year-old teacher, asked for help with her groceries. "Ethan, could you give me a hand with these bags to the car?" Old Ethan would have said, "Sorry, busy," but something made him pause. Maybe the exhaustion. "Sure, Mrs. Jenkins." As they carried them, she spoke slowly about her grandkids, the high school football game, the early falling autumn leaves. Ethan noticed the birds singing, the smell of freshly cut grass, distant kids' laughter from the community park. For a second, he felt lightness, but he soon snapped back to grind mode. Well, I've got to go. Emails don't answer themselves. That was the breaking point. The following Monday, Ethan needed to pick up a package from the neighboring town. The Uber was late, so he waited on the bench at the community park, near the old brick church. There sat Mr. Harris, a 70-year-old man in a plaid shirt, serene eyes, telling stories to kids with lemonade in hand. Another retiree with no hurry, Ethan thought. The app showed a 15-minute delay. Why does everything late around here? In America, things run on time. Mr. Harris turned with a gentle smile. Son, do you yell at the sun for rising slow? Ethan blinked, confused. The sun always rises on time. Or curse the river for flowing easy? No, of course not. The old man nodded. Then why fight with people? More complicated than rivers or suns. You want life to move at your pace, but life has its own. Ethan opened his mouth, but nothing came out. Mr. Harris picked up a simple ceramic mug from a local craft fair. Light, empty. Now take it and squeeze hard. Ethan squeezed. His fingers hurt. Is the mug hurting you? No, my hand. Exactly. This mug is your expectations. You grip life too tight. The pain comes from your grip, not from life. He set the mug on the ground. Hold it lightly, and it's easier. Something stirred inside Ethan, like a door creaking open after years locked. He took a deep breath. For the first time in decades, he felt space in his chest. That night, Ethan drove home in silence, the ceramic mug sitting on the passenger seat like some strange talisman. Mr. Harris's words echoed in his head. The pain comes from your grip, not from life. At 45, he'd always believed control was strength, the American hustle that built empires. But what if it was a prison? For the first time, he questioned the real cost of his so-called ambition. At home, Sarah noticed the difference over dinner. You seem distant, but calm. He gave a faint smile. I learned something today. I'm going to try not rushing so much. She raised an eyebrow, hopeful, but didn't press. The kids barely noticed, lost in their phones. Ethan headed to bed early, his chest feeling less tight. The next morning, the first test came quick. He woke at 6 a.m., still early, but 30 minutes later than usual. At the Starbucks drive-thru, the line stalled over a slow latte. Old Ethan would have honked, cursed out the barista, but he took a deep breath, remembered the mug. He looked out the window. Autumn leaves dancing in the wind, a dog running in the park. 5 minutes later, he ordered his black coffee calmly. No rush today, he told the attendant. The young guy smiled, surprised. Ethan arrived at work 10 minutes late, for the first time in years. The boss frowned during the morning meeting. Hayes, everything okay? He nodded. Yes, sir. Just enjoying the drive. His colleagues blinked, puzzled. The real challenge hit that afternoon. Mrs. Jenkins, the retired teacher next door, knocked with grocery bags. Ethan, dear, could you help me get these to the car? My knee's acting up today. At 45, with deadlines burning on his laptop, old Ethan would have said, sorry, busy with work. But the mug flashed in his mind. He closed the laptop. Sure, Mrs. Jenkins, let's take it slow. They walked across the damp lawn, her talking steadily about her grandkids at school, the local football team that won the state championship, the maple trees turning Maple Creek red. Ethan listened, really listened. He smelled the wet earth after the rain, heard migrating birds, kids laughing in the distant park. You've changed, Ethan. You seem lighter. He chuckled softly, trying to hold life with a looser grip. Back at his remote work in the garage, his makeshift home office, emails were piling up. An urgent call from the supplier. Hayes, we need to confirm the order now or the production line delays. Irritated voice on the other end. Ethan felt the old urge rise, yell, demand. But he breathed. Okay, let's sort this out steadily. Send me the details by email. The supplier paused, caught off guard, then agreed. Done in 20 minutes.
no drama. Sarah came back from yoga class, saw him smiling at the laptop in the garage. "What happened today? You're different." He told her about the mug, the old man in the park. She hugged him tight. "I always knew you carried too much weight. The boys feel it too." But life doesn't test gently. Friday night, Walmart, packed for the weekend. Carts bumping, kids crying, full checkouts. A cart spilled soda on Ethan's shoes. The guy behind yelled, "Hey, watch where you're going." Ethan turned, heart racing. Old him would have exploded. "You bumped into me." But he pictured the mug, clenched his jaw, breathed deep. "No problem, it happens." The man blinked, muttered an apology. Ethan kept shopping, noticing couples laughing in the snack aisle, a mom singing to her daughter in the cart. He paid calmly, even with the slow line. In the parking lot, he called Jake. "Hey son, want to shoot some hoops in the backyard when I get home?" Jake paused his fortnight. "For real, Dad? Like now?" "Yeah, let's do it." Saturday brought the family test, the annual neighborhood barbecue at the community park. Maple Creek tradition with burgers on the grill, cold beer, and cornhole games. Ethan got there early, but the pastor delayed the opening blessing by 15 minutes, church traffic. His internal clock beeped. "Why does it always take so long?" he thought. But he held steady. He chatted with the local sheriff about the new golf course, laughed with farmers about the record corn harvest. Lily came running, "Daddy, help me on the merry-go-round." He spun it slow, her laughing loud. For the first time in years, he saw her eyes light up for him. Sarah was watching from afar, tears in her eyes. Sunday, packed church, long sermon on patience from the book of James. Ethan checked his Apple Watch twice but stopped. "Hold it light," he whispered. At family lunch, steaming pancakes, Jake opened up. "Dad, Coach says I'm good on the team, but too tense in games." Ethan paused his fork. "I was like that at work. Tension steals the game. Try breathing before the shot." Jake nodded, thoughtful. Something reconnected, father and son, not just room and house. But not everything was easy victory. Monday the boss called, "Hayes, reports late, clients complaining." Ethan felt guilt tighten, not his chest, but old anxiety. "I'll get it to you today, sir." He worked late, but without anger. That night in the garage, Mr. Harris walked by. Ethan waved. The old man stopped. "How's the grip?" "Better, but it still slips." Mr. Harris smiled. "Good sign. Life tests balance. Next week, the big test comes." Tuesday, the big test arrived. National Zoom meeting, Detroit executives. Connection dropped midway, 25 minutes total delay. Black screens, bad audio. Ethan felt his blood boil. Promotion on the line. Old him would have raged in the chat, but he saw the mug, breathed, texted the team, "Let's take it steady, we'll get there." When it reconnected, he presented calm, clear ideas. The Detroit VP praised, "Hayes, I like your composure, strong candidate." Ethan logged off, hands shaking, not from anger, from relief. Wednesday night family dinner. Sarah served lasagna. "Ethan, neighbors are talking you're more present." Lily, "Daddy, you smile more." Jake, "Teach me that breathing for the game." He showed them. They laughed together. For the first time in 15 years of marriage, Ethan and Sarah talked till midnight. Postponed dreams, canceled trips, what they wanted for their 50s. "I was gripping everything wrong," he confessed. She kissed him. "Now let go. I love this new you." But fate holds the final test. Friday, back at the park, package late again. Bus 30 minutes delayed. Heart races. Mr. Harris appears. Life's testing balance now. Ethan exhales. "I know." The old man sits. Tight drum screams. Loose, it goes silent. Balanced, it sings. Humans are the same. Too tight, pain. Too loose, laziness. Balance, peace. Ethan looks at the ground. "I was off balance." Now you know. Knowing is the start of wisdom.
Months passed in Maple Creek, and Ethan Hayes' transformation didn't go unnoticed.
At 45, the man who used to honk in traffic now drove with the windows down, listening to the autumn wind instead of hustle podcasts. Neighbors whispered at the gas station, "Ethan? He's a different guy. Smiles more than he talks." At the factory, coworkers asked for advice. "How do you deal with the boss without blowing up?" He'd answer simply, "I breathe. Hold it light." Sarah, at 43, saw her husband coming back to her. Deep late-night talks, hands held on the couch, plans for a Florida coast trip in their 50s. The kids felt the air lighter at home. Jake, 16, shone on the school basketball team. Lily, 14, asked for help with homework instead of hiding in a room. But the real proof was still coming. The final test that separates surface change from deep transformation. It was a Friday in November, red leaves covering the streets like a natural carpet. Ethan waited on the community park bench for the delivery van. An important Amazon package delayed 30 minutes by early snow traffic. His phone buzzed, boss demanding the report, Jake needing a ride to practice, Sarah stuck in a crowded grocery store. His heart raced, cold sweat on his forehead despite the chilly wind. Why now, he thought. The old grip rose, fingers clenched on the bench, short breaths, blurry vision from anger. People passed complaining about the cold. A mom yelled at her running kid. Everything conspired for chaos. Ethan closed his eyes. "Hold it light," he whispered. But his chest tightened more. The van? Still nothing. That's when Mr. Harris appeared, walking slowly, gray scarf in the wind, eyes serene as always. He sat beside him, uninvited. "Life's testing you today, son. The big balance test." Ethan exhaled shakily. "I know, I'm trying, but it slips." The old man picked up a fallen stick, drew a circle in the damp dirt. "Look, a drum. Skin too tight? Screams loud, but breaks. Too loose? No sound. Balanced? Sings perfect music." He tapped a steady rhythm on the ground, thump thump soft. Humans are the same. Too much grip brings pain. Too loose turns to laziness. Balance brings peace. Ethan stared at the ground, hot tears falling. "I was gripped too tight, off balance for years." Mr. Harris smiled gently. "Now you know, and knowing is the start of true wisdom." The van arrived, 45 minutes late. Ethan signed for the package calmly, thanked the driver, despite the "sorry for the delay, snow in Ohio." His heart still pounded hard, but it didn't explode. He drove home slow, stopped at the park to pick up Jake. In the backyard, father and son shot hoops under early Christmas lights. "Dad, coach said my calm improved my shots," Jake said, sweaty. Ethan laughed. "Breathing, son, that's everything." That night, roasted turkey dinner, Thanksgiving tradition, jumped early. Lily drew the family on the table. Daddy in the middle, smiling. Sarah blinked, emotional. Look what letting go did. Days turned to weeks. At Sunday church, the pastor preached from James 1. "Consider it pure joy, my brothers, when you face trials." Ethan nodded. He got it now. At Walmart, when a cart bumped him again, he helped the lady pick up her spilled groceries. "No rush, friend. Thank you," she said. He smiled. "My pleasure." Neighbors invited him to weekly barbecues. Ethan brought homemade dessert for the first time in years. Mrs. Jenkins confided, "You saved my knee and my day, Ethan, but you changed more than that. You changed the whole street." He blushed. "Just learn to hold it light." One spring Saturday, months later, a 10-year-old neighborhood boy ran up to him in the park. "Uncle Ethan, how'd you get so calm? My dad yells in traffic every day." He knelt, eyes level with the kid. He looked at blooming trees, playing children, couples walking dogs. I stopped squeezing life, kid, started holding it light. The boy frowned but nodded. Like a basketball? Exactly. Grip it hard, hand hurts. Let it go easy, it flies free. The boy's dad watched from afar, waving grateful. That night in the garage, Ethan and Sarah sat on the old swing, clear stars over Maple Creek. Remember when you'd come home mad every day, like the world owed you speed? He squeezed her hand gently. I squeezed everything, work, family, future. Thought control was strength, but real strength is letting go. Now 46, Ethan plans semi-retirement, maybe fishing guides on Lake Erie, time for future grandkids. Jake earned a college scholarship. Lily bloomed in art. The White House with the picket fence never felt so full. Sometimes life moves slow. Sometimes it holds you up. Sometimes it changes plans. But your peace can't depend on the world's speed, because the world will never match your pace. When you loosen the grip, life softens. People ease up. Your heart lightens. Next time you feel restless, remember the ceramic mug and whisper, I'm not squeezing life, I'm holding it light. Because those who walk gently walk farther. Don't wait for tomorrow. Start today with the smallest step.
If this story touched your heart, like, share, and subscribe for more tales that bring warmth, clarity, and light to your inner path.